right there.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're about ready to get started here. Welcome to Sarah Stevenson Tuesday Morning Forum. Okay. I am Mary Johnson. I'll be facilitating along with Ms. Garma Cletty, and Mr. Winston Robinson. I think I saw, I'll be up here with him. But anyway, okay, we also have Mr. Thomas Moore. He's our musician. We have Dr. Thomas Moore. Okay. We have Shakeup, and we have Steve Johnston, who handles all of our technology. We have Ms. Natalie McElrath, and she is our timekeeper. We always begin with a prayer, and I'd like to ask Robert, would you please come and give us? Thank you. Got the wrong person.
Good morning. Bishop, I guess I once again have your permission to lead us in prayer. I'm a graduate of North Central University, Eagle Pride. But our motto is truth and service, and I think that's a testament to what we see here this morning, that in order to be a leader in our community, you first have to be a servant, have the servant leadership part, just like Christ Jesus did when he gave himself a Calvary as a ransom to offer up for our sins. And that's what we should all strive towards. So let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come before you at this Tuesday morning forum as we do each and every week, Lord, just to hear the presentations of the collect that share information about our community, how we can become better people and better community leaders and stewards in our community and in our household. God, we continue to ask the blessings on all facilitators of this great forum as they give tirelessly of their time each and every morning to bring forth fruitful presentations that will take up root and blossom and produce good fruit, Lord. God, we ask that you bless the panelists that are on the panel this morning, that I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision for them to decide to run, Lord, but they saw it as their calling, Lord, as their ministry. So God, as they go into this primary election, Lord, only one person will be first. Whoever may be last, Lord, we ask that you find a place or position for them to continue to serve the needs of the community. In Jesus' name, this is our prayer.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are excited this morning. Before I begin, let me ask all of you to take a moment of silence and silence your cell phones. Please silence your cell phones. Thank you, I do appreciate it. We're excited to have our District 3 candidates, with us today. I'm going to call their names. They're not all here yet, but I know how traffic is and all of that. We have Ms. Tiawana Brown, who is the incumbent in District 3. We have Mr. Warren Turner, who is a former District 3 representative several years ago. We also have Mr. Montravias King, he's not here yet, and we have Ms. Joy Mayo, who is not here yet. Do we have anyone here for the first time? Okay.
So my name is Kimberly Owens, and I am a Democrat running for Charlotte City Council in District 6. It's nice to meet everybody.
Hey, welcome, and come back.
Hi, I'm Ann Van Newkirk, and this is my first time being here, even though I've known about this for years, so I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you.
I'm Rosie O'Rear, and I'm delighted to be here, and I'm hoping to make an announcement for you guys at the end of the meeting.
Oh, wow, I'm excited about that. Thank you. I also want to recognize City Council District 2, Malcolm Graham. He's running unopposed, so you may not see him up here. But he's running unopposed in District 2. That's my district. Okay, let's see. We have Ms. Nathalie McGarrath, who is going to be our timekeeper. And we're going to allow each one of you to introduce yourself. You have like maybe 2 to 3 minutes to talk. And then we're going to have questions from the audience. Ms. Nathalie McGarrath will be our timekeeper. And you have 30 seconds to ask your question without a lot of commentary. But get it over, get it done in 30 seconds. And then you all may answer the questions. Okay, here's Ms. Joy Mayo.
Good morning.
Welcome, good morning. Okay, so we're going to get started with them introduce themselves.
You'll have 3 minutes. I'll hold this up when you've got 30 seconds left.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll start with you, Ms. Brown. Oh, let me say this before you get started. With these microphones, make sure you hold them up close, because we do have a streaming audience, okay? And they need to be able to hear. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tiawana Brown.
Good morning.
I am the current city council member. It is a pleasure, and I'm running on my proven track record for being the people's champ. I have navigated people in city council. I have opposed things for the people's budget. I have partnered with West Boulevard Coalition, Nation Forward Road, transforming Nation Forward Road, which Joy Mayo heads, and I joined and paid my membership. Nation Forward Road extending from Western House Boulevard all the way up to South Tryon. So when you transform Nation Forward Road, you transform the entire Nation Forward Road. I am also a member of the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls, where I make policy. It's been a pleasure being the rookie on City Council. When I be the rookie, being the rookie on City Council, you don't have any clicks. You work for the people. You stand on business, you get things done. And you don't worry about what people have to say.
That's right.
At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it is truly about the people and their votes. I'm raised by a hard single woman from Southside Homes, who walked from West Boulevard to Southside Homes to Renown Road and gave up a car. So I learned the work of ethics and hard work from a long time ago. Last time when I ran on a platform of transportation. And now we're dealing with a strategic mobility plan for 30 years. It's coming from City Council. And my concern is displacement. And so I haven't signed off on that plan. And I don't intend to unless the people advise me to do so. When it comes to upward mobility, strategic planning, the area plans in District 3, I'm leaning on the district reps. I'm leaning on the people that are leading the neighborhoods to take that charge and tell me what to do. So when it comes to City Council, although I sit at the dais and I represent the people, I'm truly an elected voice for the people by the people. And so if the people don't want it, it won't get done. I like to tell you some of the things that I've done. Being over the people's budget and being a champion for the people's budget and for the people's work, SCIU have endorsed me as the people champ. And what that simply means is making sure airport workers get livable wages, as we have the #1 economic driver in the city of Charlotte is the airport. But we want to make sure that our people are engaged, that our people are moving forward, and they're able to live in this thriving city that we have. We're the 14th largest city in the United States of America, and we want to be a city for all people, not just a select group of people. Tiawana Brown, Charlotte City Council District 3, running on my proven record for the people. The voice for the people, by the people. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Joy Mayo, and I'm running to represent District 3 for Charlotte City Council. So I'm a former CMS teacher. a neighborhood leader and also the board chair and founder of Transforming Nations Board, a community development nonprofit working to bring opportunities, investment, and safety to one of Charlotte's most overlooked areas of the city. I've seen firsthand how policy decisions can either empower or ignore a region. And that is the type of energy I will be bringing as representative of District 3 for Charlotte City Council. I'll bring fresh energy, innovative strategies, all of which will make sure that the residents of District 3 are not only heard, but that they're getting a seat at the table in decision making, and that we are being thoughtful and encouraging and including them in decisions. So let's talk a little bit about my policies. I am a big fan of safe and inclusive communities. And part of this goes in our neighborhood leaders know what is and isn't working in their neighborhoods. And I think it's important to make sure that we're empowering them, making sure that we're having them on commissions and boards so that they are helping to drive the policy and decisions that the city is making. I'm also a big fan of increased opportunities. We know oftentimes in places like District 3, so many of our residents are struggling to get by. And I think that it's really important for us to think about anti-displacement strategies. So thinking more about that, there are a lot of things to talk about. The Housing Trust Fund, I think, is a great opportunity, bringing over $100 million to preserve naturally occurring affordable housing and creating more affordable housing. Those are things that are super important to make sure that all of Charlotteans are able to stay in the city. So I have seen firsthand how various commissions with the Housing and Trust Fund have been able to assist. Also, when we talk about increased opportunities, I think that also really goes into thinking about workforce opportunities. So I've worked closely with organizations like the Goodwill Opportunity Campus and the Urban League of Central Carolinas to make sure that we're bringing investment and workforce development because we want all Charlotteans to be able to participate. And lastly, as an environmentalist, I am a very big proponent of smart growth. That is essential so that residents can get around using 10-minute cities. So instead of people having to travel 20, 30 minutes in order to get to grocery stores, essential services, also going to doctor's appointments and jobs, right? Everybody should be able to work, play, and live in their community and be able to access essential services. And those are things that I am a huge proponent for. So I hope that you will vote for Joy for District 3 for Charlotte City Council. Check out my website, Joy, J-O-I-F-O-R, Charlotte.com. Thanks so much.
Good morning. My name is Warren Turner. I'm running for City Council District 3. Well, let me tell you, I had the opportunity to serve the city of Charlotte for 8 years as the city councilman, where I chaired public safety. I was vice chair of transportation. I also served on the budget committee. So over that time, in my 8 years, when I first came to City Council for District 3 representative, District 3 had the highest crime rate. It had the highest unemployment rate. If you lived here in Charlotte for over the last 40 years, you would know that. If you came to Charlotte in the last 15 years, you would not know that unless you researched it. So one of the things that we see today, and that I constantly hear, is we're falling back. In District 3, we're falling back, not just in District 3, but across the city of Charlotte. Our crime rate is high. People still have a great concern about economic development, affordability. Our senior citizens being able to live in their communities. When the city passed those new UDOs, it has an impact. Everybody didn't agree with them, but that's what we deal with now with zoning. It allowed multifamily to be able to go into a single family housing. So when we start talking about the impact of our older neighborhoods, if you ride through Charlotte, we all see the new development, the new housing that has come in. But what we didn't do is plan and have a plan in place to protect those senior citizens, those people that have lived here for all their life, that lived in those smaller homes that they can't afford. So when the taxes have gone up, we reevaluated those, so those houses next door to a $500,000 house, $600,000 house, it has an effect. I want to make sure that we can protect those individuals that have been part of the thread in the bounds of our city all their lives. We pay to stay in our city, to pay to afford to live here. But also to think about our young people. If you have children that go off to college, leave your house, where are they gonna live? Most of them, you look at here, our rent is very high across our city. Our mortgage payments are very high, and you're trying to buy a home. And I understand growth, I understand economic, I understand all of that. But we have to have some initiative to really try to think about and try to protect these entities and these groups of our citizens. So the other thing I want to make sure we understand is the transportation matters. We continue to grow, we're growing very fast, and that seems to be some people's goal. But when you outgrow your infrastructure, it becomes very complex. Not just out where I live in Steer Creek, but all over. So one of the things I think we need to really start focusing on is how are we going to start pre-planning and do a better job and on initiatives that we endorse and we support to make sure that everybody have a fair opportunity to live in the city of Charlotte and affordability.
Okay, Mr. Coons has the first question. If you have a question, you may raise your hand, and I will call on you in the order that you raise your hand, okay?
This question is to each of you. Public service, as you know, is an open book. Elected officials become subject to in-depth public and media scrutiny, sometimes unpleasant and sometimes overwhelmingly positive and supportive. To that point, what are, and this is to each of you, what are 3 issues, personal or otherwise, that you absolutely will not discuss or answer in your campaigns or if elected?
I'll go first. It'd be my pleasure to do so. So if I'm understanding your question correctly, you're saying we'll get scrutinized by media, or the 3 things that I would not be willing to answer in my campaign? There's nothing I would be willing to answer in my campaign. As a public servant, my life is an open book, and so I walk with integrity and dignity, and if I'm elected for the people to run and stand, if there's nothing I would be willing to answer. And I say that because I'm transparent, my life is an open book, and I don't have anything to hide. And as a public servant, your life becomes open to the public. The media dig, they find things, and so for me, it's to be able to build that trust. And the way to build that trust is to be transparent, open, and be willing to answer any questions that the media or the public might have for me.
Thank you so much.
One more thing, Ms. Mayo, and to keep that on that subject with you, that's how I've earned the trust of the community, by being open and willing to share. Thank you.
So I think for me, as being a public servant, I think it's really important. I agree to be transparent, but I also think it's important to make sure we're protecting our family as well. They didn't necessarily sign up to be in public service. You know, my mom or my brother or different people like that. So I do think it's important to be thoughtful of, yes, myself as an individual, you know, I've signed up to serve the community in the city, and I hope to continue to do that as a District 3 rep. But I do think it is also important to be respectful and thoughtful of family members because, you know, they're the people that are supporting us in this platform, in this new endeavor that we're taking on, and I think it's important to be thoughtful and respectful of them. So I would not necessarily be discussing my family unless, you know, it's something that relates to the campaign. But I mean, I think it's important that we bring people back into conversations. You know, elected officials are people, just like everyone else. We have families, we have lives, and all of those should also be respected. Just like people would want people to respect their family as well.
Well, I would not discuss my family, my immediate family, but it has nothing to do with my position or what I do for the city of Charlotte. I would not disclose anything that has an NDA agreement with it. I would not disclose closed sessions that we're lawful not to. So that would pretty much, I think, cover where I would and would not go. If this is a question that I can answer and I have the rights to answer it, and does not cause any legal issues for the city of Charlotte or myself, then I'll try to answer those questions.
Okay, before we go to the next question, we have Mr. Montravias King, who has just arrived. He's also running for District 3. We're going to give him his 2 minutes to introduce himself.
3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, clear the microphone.
Thank you, Councilwoman Brown. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tuesday morning family, to our facilitators, and also to honor the legacy of Miss Sarah Stevenson. You know, I think the passing of Attorney Ferguson gave us all a chance to pause and think on the rich excellence of Black leadership we have in the city of Charlotte. You know, we're living in unprecedented times today, you know, where we're facing challenges from left to right. And I entered this race because I believe in a Charlotte where everyone can thrive. I believe in a Charlotte where no matter your zip code, everyone deserves the right to feel safe. Everyone deserves the right to a safe and affordable place to call home. And everyone deserves the right to economic opportunity. So I am proud to have ran a race, a great race, I'll say, in which, you know, we've been able to connect with people from across the district. But over the last 24 hours, my team and I have had the opportunity to assess our viability. And after looking at the results of the BPC endorsement, which I respect as a proud member, it's clear the BPC has a good pulse on District 3, on the heart of District 3 and other ones. I'm not going to speak on other ones, but I know for a fact that the BPC has a good pulse on District 3. And we didn't do as well as we thought we were going to do. And so because of that, my campaign is I'm suspending my campaign effective immediately. And we announced it on social media. However, like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I love this city. I'm a proud Charlottean. I'm 34 years old. I've been blessed to be able to earn a decent living for me and my family, to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor, to be able to enjoy things in this city, and I want other people to be able to do the same thing. So I'm going to have my chance. We're not going anywhere. We're suspending. But in closing, in that matter, I also, when thinking about the pulse of the people and doing reflection and prayer, I believe in my heart of hearts that there's only one person in this race that truly loves and cares about the people. And because of that, not only am I suspending my race, but I am fully endorsing current Councilwoman Tiawana Brown. And I am also encouraging all of my 32 delegates to release their votes to go towards Councilwoman Brown. I'll take 2 interviews immediately afterwards. Thank you all so much, and God bless you. I will continue in the fight. I'm not going anywhere.
Would you like to, would you like to remain on to speak?
I never heard nothing like that. How about that?
Okay, thank you so much.
Like Donahue.
Whoa. Wow. I gotta take a break.
I need to hold the microphone up because we have a streaming audience. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tracy Roberts. I had to wipe a tear from my eye just a moment ago before I began to speak. This question is specifically for you, Joy. but I want the other people to answer as well. You said that we call your neighbors to the table that we can speak to. Well, I remember you sitting at my kitchen table, ma'am. I'm not just a resident. I'm not just a resident of District 3, but I was also your neighbor. So I want to know, since I've been ostracized and not even a part of your Nation Forward, Arrowwood Road Coalition, whatever it is, and I live on Nation Forward, and thank you, Mr. Warner, for mentioning a homeowner that lives in that area. What's gonna be different? What's gonna be different? Are you telling us the truth today?
I'm gonna ask you a question, what's gonna be different? Thank you, that's a good question now.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us, Tracy. So I have worked long and hard with Nations Forward. So I always tell people I keep receipts. So I know who I am sending emails to, who's reading them, et cetera, particularly with MailChimp, because that is all public with how I have that. So I think that the work that we've done with Transforming Nations Forward, bringing increased opportunities to the area, asking for additional investment from the city speaks for itself. Actually, Housing and Neighborhood Services recently increased an initiative called Neighbors Building Neighborhoods based on the advocacy of Transforming Nations Forward and also SWAN, Southwest Area Neighborhood Coalition. All of these organizations together were very concerned when Nations Forward was not part of the corridors of opportunity, despite having so many of the same challenges as some of the other areas. So I do think that is something that I have continued to do. All are welcome at Transforming Nations Forward meetings. Definitely feel free to check out our website. It literally says that on there, all are welcome. And that's the type of leadership that I will continue to bring to District 3, giving all residents an opportunity to participate and do the work, but it's important that we show up and we also assist. So I am very proud of the work that I have done with Transforming Nations Forward, the fact that we are creating a strong coalition that is inclusive of all the residents in the area, including our Latinx population, which we know there's a large percentage of there. We are very thoughtful of having Spanish interpretations at our meetings because we want all residents to participate, and that is how we will actually have a strong area.
Oh my goodness.
Good morning. Robin Emmons is working towards ballot access as an unaffiliated candidate for District 3. My question is for Ms. Mayor and Mr. Turner. Affordable housing is so often reduced to a conversation about the Housing Trust Fund, but as Charlotte growth and property values rise, so do property taxes, which can push out legacy homeowners and deepen displacement. Given that reality, how do you plan to use the entire tax structure, not just housing-specific funds, to address affordability, protect long-term residents, and ensure housing access is treated as a core infrastructure issue, not just a siloed one?
That question is for
Ms. Mayo and Mr. Turner.
Right, okay.
Well, that's a long question. There are things that I think we could do and do better when it comes to our housing, and one of the things that a lot of folks don't understand and know that the county has what we call the Homestead Act program. And when I was on council, I pushed that initiative throughout my district. And I personally believe that the city of Charlotte need to start taking a closer look at those initiatives to see whether or not that is something that we can legally establish to assist our seniors and folks that fall below a certain median income, where that we can assist them on their taxes. And you know, it's not far-fetched to even talk about having a fixed tax when they qualify. And you put that in a legal clause where that if they sell the house, or just like the current Homestead Act, that does not transfer. It qualifies the individual that owns the property at that time. The next person will have to qualify for that assistance. But I personally believe that the biggest threat that we have is those UDOs to the quality of life, to our older neighborhoods, because it has allowed a lot of the things that we see today. It's caused your taxes to go up. It's caused the infrastructure to not be there. But more importantly, as I said earlier in my introduction, when I can build a $500,000 house beside someone's house that had a tax value of $125,000, and the following year, your taxes have tripled. That's a big impact to someone that's on a fixed income.
Thank you. Thanks, Robin, for your question. So I do think there are some strategies that we can really be thoughtful of, particularly in older neighborhoods, more established neighborhoods, particularly ones that don't have HOAs. When you think about like West Boulevard and other areas. So the city has I'm very interested in the accessory dwelling unit program, and they're working on a pilot program with that. I think that provides opportunities, one, for residents, existing residents, to have a source of income to help with remaining in place and staying in place. But I think it also allows for so many of our newcomers to actually have a place where they can live as well. So I think it's a win-win, in my opinion, providing opportunities for existing residents to be able to bring a source of income to help so that they can stay in their homes. But I think it also provides, their children or rental property that they can use, so that, we're not always having to build, duplexes or triplexes on units. We can think outside the box. And I think the ADUs is a really great opportunity to help existing residents to stay in place. And I think that's so important because they've done work to ensure, that Charlotte is the city that it is today, that people want to live here. And I think thinking outside the box is a great opportunity for them. And also for, future generations, homeowners and their families. So I'm a big fan of generational wealth. My father owned multiple real estate endeavors when I lived in Richmond with rental properties. And I think that's something to think about. How can we create generational wealth for our children? And I think that's something in the Black community for us to really think about.
Are there rebuttals?
Okay, Blanche is next.
Blanche? Thank you. Okay, I'm glad y'all are talking about staying in place. And I remember I worked with Lake Harbor, all the things that went down with them. And then also West Boulevard, I worked over there. And they're not staying in place. So sound bites and make it sound things sound good. I really want to know, because once you get on that council, are you going to be working for us? Or are you going to be working for the developers? Or who are you going to really be working for? Because my question is, my friend Natalie, is who will you work for? Are you going to work for the people? Or are you going to work for the people?
Which people? Whatever people they want to work for.
Good morning, Dr. Lynch. Thank you so much for that question. And so, working for the people is near and dear to my heart. Being on one of my favorite committees is the Housing Safety and Community Committee. We have some great council members on that committee. I like to pride myself in saying humbly that I came in by myself. If God sees fit for me to leave out, I'll leave out by myself, but I'll leave out as a people's champ. I know about Lake Arbor, I know about West Boulevard, I come from there. Being a person of all people, and not just one person, but being able to work with the extended services out in Steel Creek, being able to work in Steel Creek in the corridors, the 6 corridors of opportunities. But I'm glad that you asked that question, because people will say whatever they want you to hear to get them in office. But when you get in office, are you gonna really be able to stand for the people, answer the emails, show up, take the tough questions, stand and grace under fire, still fight, and still people know your heart and know that you lead with integrity? and that you got this position and was elected for the people, by the people, not in one precinct, but in all the precincts of my district. It's been hard standing and fighting and being different. But when we stand, we fight. And on my website, it's every single thing that I've done. I have an assistant to answer my emails, but I answer my emails. You can ask Ms. Mayo. I answered hers, and I pushed her through the ropes. She told me herself personally that she could not get in touch with certain city council members and city staff. But when she emailed Dr. Tiawana Brown, the city council member on City Council District 3, I made things happen for her. And that's who I am. I make things happen whether you like it or not. Go to my website. My work speaks for itself.
All right now.
Well, absolutely. My record proves that I work for the people because that's why I went there. If there's something that's inconsistent or wrong, I address those matters. Now, that was not always popular. You will be attacked, and you don't understand how it really works. You have one vote, but the ability to be able to persuade, the ability to be able to negotiate, but to understand what it is that you're negotiating. Sometimes is not popular, but the reality of it is this: you're gonna have to go against the grain, and you're gonna have a purpose, and you're gonna have a plan just to be sustainable in order to do that, to be successful. And my record proves that. The things that I was challenged and faced with when I was the district rep for the city of Charlotte. And as I told you earlier, you know, we were living in a time where our crime was just off the charts, and there was no economic development. And I spent countless hours riding developers around once we dealt with the crime matter to show them where was opportunity in District 3. And many of you that lived in District 2 at the time, we were border with each other, so you saw that happen. I used to get phone calls all the time saying, we wish you was representing us. But I always tell citizens then, work with your council member. Let them know what you want and work with them to make sure that happens. Because a silent voice is a no voice. You have to show up at city council meetings and let people know what you want. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm a big fan of working with the people, which I have done. So I think it's important to make sure, one, you're meeting people where they are. I don't think it's always the best practice to have meetings at the government center. District 3 is a large landmass. There are a lot of people in that area. I think it's important to be all throughout the district, particularly when you're hosting workshops and meetings, because that's not always conducive for people to come to the government center. Also, when we're thinking of all the various people we're representing, lots of different immigrant groups may not feel comfortable going into the government center. So I think there are a lot of things to be thoughtful of when you are actually representing the people. Are you in the area where the people are? So making sure, from one, that you're actually hosting meetings where people are and meeting with them, I think is first important. So with Transforming Nations Forward and with the work that I've been doing, I've worked closely with the West Boulevard Neighborhood Coalition. Me running for office, this isn't new. You can ask any of the members of the West Boulevard Neighborhood Coalition. I don't have to be invited to attend their meetings. I have that on my calendar because that is a priority to me. And I show up and I assist them, as I do with other areas in the city as well. So I don't have to be told about people's meeting. I know to show up and do the work. And you can feel free to call those neighborhood leaders because they know that. So I think there are a lot of things. One, to make sure we're rooted in facts. As a former math teacher, you know, I know 1 + 1 = 2. And as anyone who knows me from the city knows, I keep all receipts. So I do know when I have emailed someone and when they do not respond, and when I have to talk to other people as a result of that. So appreciative of the time to talk about that, and looking forward to representing District 3 for Charlotte City Council.
Good morning. My name is Colette Forrest, and the question that I have is, a lot of people talk about public service. That's a big buzzword. I want to thank you, Ms. Brown, for working with myself and our airport workers in the union because they are the least of these. I would like Ms. Brown, Ms. Mayo, and Mr. Turner to give a recent example of public service that you have done, not just for your potential constituents, but for people as a whole in Charlotte. Because when you vote, you represent your district, but as you know, you affect all people in all districts.
I'll go first. Thank you so much for your question. So for months, I've been working with various areas about the 77 South expansion. As an environmentalist, there are challenges when you're thinking of increasing the toll, 77 from 6 lanes to 10 lanes, and those 4 lanes being toll lanes, right? Are regular residents going to be using those toll lanes, or is that going to be more affluent people who are then going to be using that? So I've been working closely with various neighborhoods and organizations all along the 77 South as a result of that. So talking with my neighbors, not only in West Boulevard, but Dilworth and other organizations. So I chair the Charlotte Mecklenburg Climate Leaders Transportation Committee, where I am actively been doing this work, making sure that we're having tough conversations about transportation and making sure that we are also thinking about community benefits agreements. So let's say that we do expand 77 South, and that's something that City Council voted on with the state. But how are we making sure that the residents who might be impacted by that expansion, one, that we're being thoughtful of minimizing any negative impacts of that? Could that lead to displacement? Let's not even talk about air quality. We know that Black and brown neighborhoods have seen our highways go through our neighborhoods oftentimes. So there are so many conversations when we're thinking about community benefits agreements, making sure that the different organizations are having a seat at the table so that we're one, minimizing impact, but also making sure that we are thinking of agreements, binding agreements, to making sure that they are not being left out.
Public service is what you asked, Ms. Forrest, and thank you so much for that question. I serve public every day. And recently, I went down to the airport with SEIU and looked at Articles of Incorporation and walked into the office and stood with them. That's public service. I'm a doctor. I want people listening to this feed to be able to not have to look up words when I'm speaking. So I want to speak plain in layman's terms so people can understand my rhetoric and what I'm saying. Public service is what I do every single day. Standing on the corner of West Boulevard with the business owners and trying to come up with a safety plan on the 4 corners of West Boulevard, the business owners, the restaurant owners, the owners that own the property up there, asking for the young guys that are standing out there and people are getting killed out there. That's public service. People can call me and get my email or my telephone number and I show up for them. That's public service. You said recent. That was just last week that I was at the airport. So I just want to stick to your question and I'm done.
That job never stops. Been a public servant. One of the things that I've been helping communities do is to help establish and reinforce their HOAs, to protect them against some of the things that I spoke of earlier. And that is really the only protection that a lot of them have. If you live in a homeowner association where there's no clause in there that protects your partial for what the land can be used for, at least you open for those things that I spoke of in regards to impact of multifamily, duplexes, quadruplexes being built in your residence, in your community. The other thing is that I do is spend a lot of my time helping the seniors. I don't charge anyone. I do repairs. Somebody called me and asked me for help. I provide my services for free. And I get an enjoyment out of that, to be honest with you. Something that I enjoy doing. So since I've been retired, I spend a lot of time in those types of communities, helping seniors. I've also helped young ladies just recently that was dealing with a matter on South Tryon Street where she felt that she could not, her land was being intruded on by a developer. And we got that resolved through the city of Charlotte, as well as unfortunately had to get a little advice, legal advice from an attorney. But it all worked out in her favor, and she was correct. So I never stopped. I have never stopped, and I won't stop. I've been in public service pretty much all my life. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Jay Hill, and I'm from West Boulevard. About 2.5 weeks ago, I had the So Fresh and So Clean Up Day. Spent my own money to clean the West Boulevard corridor from the exit all the way down to the library. My question is, thank you, sir. My question is, what do I have to do? There was grass and weeds growing out of the sidewalk. There was ivy across from Greater Mount Sinai that looked like it was covering up the sidewalk, and people have to walk in the street to get past that. What do I have to do to get West Boulevard on the same calendar as Valentine and South End and Myers Park as far as their grass being cut the same way it needs to be done on West Boulevard? My question is for the whole panel. Okay. Thank you.
So good morning, Mr. J. Hill. Thank you so much for your question. You have come to the office and met with me at City Council several times, and I choose to meet in City Council. One, taxpayers pay for that office. If we're not going to have an office that we're not going to use, why do we have it? So I want to make sure that you can come into the office. You're so fresh and you're so clean event, amazing. I wish I could have been here, had prior plans that you and I communicated about where I couldn't be here. But when you call me, you ask me, I do that. What I want you to know is that we have a program, Great Neighborhoods, and you and I talked about riding down West Boulevard with the city manager. That is still in the making. I can't elaborate on something that I wasn't there, but I know what you're talking about. I'm a member of Greater Mount Sinai Baptist Church, 1243 West Boulevard my entire life. So we do care, but what I would suggest is that neighborhoods protect their neighborhoods. That people come out, that we knock on doors. You're a one-man show and I love it. But everybody collectively needs to come together so that we can keep the character of West Boulevard in that neighborhood. Meet with West Boulevard Coalition. They do great work, but also the neighbors themselves, a lot of them, even though we have that great organization, a lot of people don't know about it. So we can knock on doors and get people involved. Take care of your community, take care of the people. I love the great work that you're doing. I'm still open to you, you know that. I appreciate your question, but to ride down West Boulevard is still in effect. From one end to the other, we will do that. So thank you for your question, and thank you for your great work in West Boulevard.
So I had the honor of being able to attend the event, and I thought it was a great opportunity. Those are the type of things that we do also where I live in Nations Ford, because we know that sometimes the maintenance isn't occurring as often as we would like, and sometimes you have to help things along. So appreciative of the work that you're continuing to do. So I think first it's important to figure out who maintains the road. Is this a state road? Is this a city road? So that we're being thoughtful of talking to the right people. So, there's really no point in trying to talk about something if we don't know who we should be talking to. So that would be my first concern, determining who is in charge of maintenance of that road, and then figuring out how do we have a regular maintenance routine on there. So I think that's the first key thing, and that's the type of leadership that I bring, that I brought to my neighborhood. One, making sure I do my research. So not just saying something, making sure I understand who maintains it so that I can make an informed decision and actually make things happen. You can just say something, or you can make sure you're talking to the right people to make sure it gets done. And that's the type of leadership that I will bring to District 3 as a representative.
Wilkerson Boulevard is a city maintained road. So it starts with the city of Charlotte. Sidewalks, growth, limbs hanging over, that's city of Charlotte responsibility. And those things are supposed to be clear, fray, any limbs. It's safe for pedestrians to get up and use them as they're designed to be used. So that's where I would start. That's where I've always started. It is wonderful to have neighborhoods that adopt streets. The Adopt a Street program, of course, you clean that based on the policies and the rules that they have in place. But the city of Charlotte, unfortunately, is not in a position, so they say, to come out and clean your street every day. But they have an obligation to make sure that it's clean and that it's safe. So that's where it starts, and that's where the buck ends. It's not the citizen's responsibility. You volunteer when you adopt those streets, but no one holds you accountable for whether you do or don't, other than yourself and that sign. And I'm not advocating that that's what you should be doing. The first phase of this starts with the city of Charlotte and getting staff out there to do what they're supposed to do, into those garbage cans, clean up around those bus stops. Because all of those things is a reflection of our community, and it invites more of it when we don't get on it. When I was on city council, I used to get those calls through Emerald. It didn't stop there. I went straight to the city manager. Nobody else. And Pam Seifert made sure that was addressed immediately. And we get the report back when it was done, based on the time and when it went through. So that's the way it should work, and that's the way it's supposed to work. Let's make sure that it's working. Thank you.
Good morning, thank y'all for being here. My name is Mary Jane Watkins. I'm a pre-law 4th year student at UNC Chapel Hill. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. And I ask a similar question to all the candidates each week, so I'm asking it again. There's a growing feeling of uncertainty, especially among my generation of college students and recent college graduates, of being from Charlotte and not being able to come back after we graduate to own a home because of the current state of our economy here and the rising in house prices. But what will you do if elected and re-elected to support young people in home ownership?
Thank you so much for that. And it's nice to be a city council member, so I can know exactly what's going on, know the policy and the things that we're putting in place for young people or workforce development program that we have. You graduate right out of high school and you can come work for the city of Charlotte. And I know that you're a student at UNCC and you can start making $55,000 to $60,000 a year. I show up for that every time they have something at West Charlotte. But for me, I'm a champion of young people. People always talk about bringing people and meeting people where they're at. I do that every day. I started the youth town halls. I brought those back into city council, leading and led by the youth. I work with organizations at Johnson C. Smith University campus for young people, which I'll be speaking to them next week. So your ideas are my ideas. I love the fact that you're asking what we can do, because Charlotte is growing and it's growing out of price and nobody can afford to live here, even me as a city council member. That's my truth, that's my transparency. But we're gonna continue to work. We're gonna continue to work on the Housing and Safety Committee and make sure that you're at the table, that your voice is heard, and that we can implement policy so we can bring you forward and make sure that you come back and help our city grow in a way that it needs to grow, not for just one person, but for all people from all dynamics and all walks of life. So thank you so much for that question, and thank you for studying pre-law at University of UNC Charlotte. Thank you. Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill.
So I think there are some great programs that the city currently has with House Charlotte to help with down payment assistance for young people. So those are great opportunities to help young people and just all Charlotteans get into homes. As I stated at the PPC forum, maybe like a week and a half ago, the importance of HOAs enforcing their bylaws. So that's something that I have done for 9 years as the HOA president of my neighborhood. We enforced our bylaws to make sure that corporate buyers could not get into our neighborhood. So our bylaws said that 20% of the actual residences or units had to be, 20% could be rented. Anything more than that, they had to go on a wait list. So we have been able to create an affordable pathway to home ownership in my neighborhood, actually based on that in conversations with the city Housing Neighborhood Services. They actually implemented a program to help strengthen HOAs. And that was based on my recommendation with those bylaws. So there are only certain things that the city or the state can do, but those HOAs actually have the power to enforce those bylaws so that corporations, people who are just coming in to buy, to rent out, can't just come and do that in neighborhoods if there is a rental cap in the neighborhood. Yes, that's gonna take some time and effort to log and things like that, but that's important. So in my neighborhood, residents have been able to buy homes for less than $250,000. And that's novel when you think about Charlotte. And that's the type of leadership that I bring, being intentional and thoughtful. How can we actually create a pathway for home ownership for residents so that everyone can enjoy this beautiful city?
The neighborhood she lived in, I drove that development off of Arrowwood Road. So let me, I said this last night, I had to address this question last night because it's a very serious question. I'm not on council now, so I don't know what exists right now in their policy or what they're planning to do, other than what we read about the affordable housing initiatives. And so what I'm going to tell you is this. You should be able to live and have an opportunity to live in Charlotte. I used my daughter last night as an example of this. She lives in Raleigh. She works for a company there. She wants to move back home. And she don't want to live in my house. She wants her own house. We've been looking. So all is on the market. We've been saturated with townhouses and apartments. But apartments and townhouses, you're paying $600,000, $400,000 for a townhouse, no land, just as a glorified apartment, if you don't know what. So at the end of the day, then you look at compare the same, the market-driven rates based on what the market is doing in Charlotte, also have rent that high. So it makes it truly unaffordable for a well-educated person making a lot of money or someone that's just a blue-collar worker, graduate, high school graduate. That's what we need to be really talking about. How do we balance this? And it seems to me that there's a push that we want Charlotte to be the biggest city. That comes with problems. That has issues. And it affects those very things what we talk about, affordability to live in the city which you were born or raised in, or that you want to live in. And I want to make sure that we put that on the table. I don't hear them talking about it, just like I don't hear them talking about crime. So thank you.
How are we doing on questions? We're down to our last half hour. Do we go to 1 minute answers?
30 seconds and 1 minute.
Okay. We're gonna switch.
Still
now
30 seconds.
1 minute to answer.
It's me.
Okay, this question is for Joy Mayor. You say you based off of integrity. So I got a question. Why would you take credit for the Violence Interrupter program with Safe Coalition to Action and See? We actually started this program when we actually linked up with CRC when we started what's called the Jumpstart program. So I'm just confused with how you take the credit with something that you did not do, and I know that firsthand, being on the executive board.
Okay, thank you. So, no, I never took credit for that. I said that Nations Forward, we know is top 4 in the city for violent crimes. I have the emails where we, after with Babies Forward, we know that we saw so much success in the Alternatives to Violence program that we actually asked the city, hey, you know, this would be a great program. We should bring that also to Nations Forward Arrowwood based on the data. So I like to use data to make sure that we're using data to drive decisions. And that was a decision that Swan, Southwest Area Neighborhood Coalition, and other neighborhoods talked to the city about. First, when we found out we were not part of corridors of opportunity, despite having the same challenges, low wealth population, Black and Brown, 10% of over 10% of our residents do not have a high school diploma, who are 25 and older, and that limits their abilities.
Good morning. I have a question. Winston Robinson, District 1, McCrory Heights, nothing to do with District 3. However, you are a voting member of council, so you do have an interest. I wanted to know, what is one original concept that you hope to bring to council that that optimizes lived experience for long-term residents?
Versus building out.
All of you.
Thank you so much for that question, Winston. I know you're very supportive and you care and you show up for your neighborhood. An original idea that I would bring would be to connect with the nonprofit organizations like the one you're running and to allocate funding to those organizations, because you guys do exceptional work. We operate a $4.5 billion budget, and we have line items, and Councilmember Mayfield is here, and she's strict on that, and she and I went back and forth, but I was able to stretch it to the limit and optimize fundings, along with my council members, we get one vote. But I stood out because I'm very passionate about people like yourself and other nonprofit organizations that are on the ground doing the work. So that's an original idea that I stick with, that I want to move forward. And she's nodding her head because it's original. And at the end of the day, if you all are pushed out, where would our city be? Your ideas are unique. They are for upward mobility. They manifest all over the city of Charlotte, in all corridors, and all in from the south, the east to the north and the west. And so thank you so much for that question. I will continue to fight the way that I'm fighting. And I want people to know, sorry, I respect it. I didn't look your way, I apologize.
All right.
That, again, is what my concerns are as well. But I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. If there are agencies or nonprofit organizations that's doing it and they're successful at it, I believe that the city of Charlotte do have to look at a different way of funding and getting involved and supporting those organizations that are very successful at it. And I also have the other concern of that is that, you know, we have to learn to spread that, and we don't. We like to concentrate. And when we concentrate, you know, I think it has an opposite effect of the quality of life, and especially in the housing sector. So I support any organization that can show their books that they're doing it and doing it well. I think they should receive funding, and I think we should look for those type of organizations instead of trying to create another committee, another organization within city government, you know, when there's people out here that's doing it every day.
Thank you. So when I think kind of about the smart growth model, I really love the fact that that whole 10-minute cities, being able to enjoy where you live and not just having to go to center city to enjoy so many of the amenities. So I think first is just being thoughtful. Does every region have kind of what it needs to thrive, and having those conversations with residents? So are people able to enjoy where they live without just having to always travel? And I think part of that is having those conversations with neighborhood coalitions in neighborhoods. What are the type of activities that you want? And then seeing how can we connect them. So I know for Transforming Nations Forward, we're going out for Arts and Science Council grant because we've heard from our young people that they want different experiences in our area. They want to be able to do art where they live. We know that supports their social emotional learning. So with different art forms, physical art and visual art. And I think that's the type of thing that is so important, to make sure that people aren't just having to leave their community to enjoy it.
All right, good morning. I've heard a lot of terms like economic development, workforce development, displacement, etc. What are practical or realistic strategies or plans that you have to work with your cohorts on council to improve your particular district along these lines? Rather than saying we need to improve it, what are realistic things that you have in mind to bring to the table? Today you get the ground running.
I'll go last. I'll go first all the time.
Or continue.
Okay. Yeah.
That's an excellent question. You know, one of the things that I did when I was on city council after I dealt with the crime matter, as I told you earlier, I alluded to that I put developers in my vehicle and I drove them around. But let me go back one page. I did something that was unique that they said they had never done before. I invited the entire city council, city manager, the city attorney, economic development, at that time was Mr. Tom Flynn. And we had a city bus. We all got on the city bus. And I drove them, well, I didn't drive, but the city employee worker drove us throughout my district, and I got it, and I've given them the route we wanted to do. So they could see, you know, it's unfortunate that oftentimes my experience was that we sat there and we make decisions based on what's in that book and we vote on it. But we never go out and see what the reality of it is from the neighborhood perspective and the people that live there who it impacts every day. So I did that. And it made a great difference because after that, it was much easier for me to move forward with the initiatives to support that. Thank you.
I think expanding the city's existing program, so the education to employment program, is a great opportunity for young CMS students as soon as they graduate to actually be able to have good paying jobs, meeting $23 an hour, having a 401k, a pension potentially, having opportunities to also get training in education. So I think there are great opportunities that we can help our young people so that they can make decisions about what they're wanting in their life. Not everybody wants to go to college. I think that we need to create pathways so that everyone can be successful in our city. So making sure that we're expanding that so that all throughout the city, students have the opportunities. I always tell people you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know about those programs, how can you actually be involved in them and reap the benefits? So I think those are great opportunities that I think all of our young people should be thinking about, particularly when we think about minimum wage the way it is.
Thank you so much for that question, Mr. Gary. And so I pride myself in being able to bring people to the table, and not just in the city government building, although I brought more people to the 15th floor since I've been on city council in a year and a half, probably more than my colleagues. But I will say this, I went out to the airport recently, the #1 economic driver in our city, and I met with Steelberry Acres, something that they've never been able to do, and bring all of the airport officials to the table, the executives, and show the blueprint of what's being brought, and properties have been purchased long before I've been born. I was born in 1971, and some of the properties out there have already been brought in 1969. So when we talk about what we're gonna do, we gotta be careful, because there's a blueprint out there that's already existed that we got to dig into and see what we can do with that. What can be done and what cannot be done. So I pride myself in going to South Charlotte, not just West Boulevard, not just people that look like me, but people who look like that young lady sitting behind you. I work with all people, I bring everybody to the table. And that was a big move that I did with Steelberry Acres, to go out there, show them the blueprint, so they said we're not just doing things, things were done before I was born. Thank you.
Still saying that when sharks smell blood in the water, it's gonna be a feeding frenzy.
Okay.
My question to Mayo and Turner, as you know, there's documented legal allegations against the incumbent. If that was not on the record, or in this case, would either of you be in this race? And please do not be evasive or lengthy in your answer.
I'll go first. Yes, I would still be in this race regardless. So I've been having conversations with neighborhood leaders pretty much for the last year about running. My website has been up for 2 years, so the data speaks for itself that this is something that I have continued to be interested in. Having conversations with people regarding my run for District 3 for Charlotte City Council. So very excited to have taken this leap and done so well. So I think I'm very excited to continue to do this work and glad for the effort that I have done in the work.
To answer your question, yes, I would be. I'm not one of those opponents that believe in attacking someone, and I'm not gonna become that. I didn't do it when I was on city council, my 8 years, and I've been in politics even before I got elected. So I wanted the rematch because I still believe that I'm the best candidate for the job that needs to be done, that we are facing as a city. I'm not come by lately. I didn't start going to neighborhood meetings and in the last year or two because I had an interest in running to do this. I've been doing it, and I'm standing the fight. And that's whether I win or lose. I'll still be in the fight on the battlefield for this city and the people that live in this city. And I will work with whoever and as that takes this seat, because this is bigger than us. This is not about me. It's about the people. It's about the future of Charlotte. And I truly believe that we're at the tipping point right now. We're at the tipping point.
The question wasn't for me, but I want to answer it if that's okay. So I don't believe they will be in the race. I am fighting like HELL. I'm standing under grace. And at the end of the day, I know for a fact that your mayor came into my office and I asked her, did she want to run? And we could talk about me passing the baton to her because I'm transparent. She said, I said, your website is up. And she said, my website has been up, but I'm not running. I'm just doing the work. So we have to think about people, what they're going to tell you they're going to do, and then what they're going to get in office and what they're really going to do. Transparency is all I've ever been. Whether it's been good or bad, high and low. I think I prematurely spoke that I wasn't going to run and put an email out there, and people came from out of the woodworks. And I can tell you right now, I still think that right now, because I'm so transparent, that not only are they running against me, but also some people in city government is running against me. But when you stand and when you fight, you win. And that's what you see me doing, fighting.
Amen.
Good morning again. If elected, this is for the whole panel, if elected, the 1 cent sales tax, if that passes in November, how will you make sure that you protect the West Boulevard corridor, that businesses and residents are not displaced, and also participate from an economic mobility standpoint as well?
Let me go ahead and respond to that and get that out of the way. Since I'm a sitting city council member, yes, I did vote to move it forward to the ballot because I'm transparent. But at the end of the day, I've been speaking with community. It is a lot, we have 1 minute, right? There's a lot going on with this plan. And so as I stand right now, I am standing neutral, as I stated in a previous forum that I was at. I am letting the community and the people lead me. Right now, if you go to my Facebook page, it's about people that are living in motels that are gonna be displaced and put out. Yes, we need a different plan, but we also need the people that are gonna be affected by the plan to speak their truth to power, and we need to listen to it and bring it to the forefront, and that's what I'm doing. So protecting West Boulevard, protecting Woodline, protecting Steel Creek, protecting all of the neighborhoods that are under umbrella in the whole city of Charlotte. We need to hear from the people, and I just don't think we do things so fast and in such a hurry, we don't get to get out the information the way that we need to get it out. So yes, standing in truth to power, I want to hear from the people, more people. Thank you.
You go.
That was for everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You said that was for the panel. Oh, okay.
So I am also neutral. I think that the residents now have the opportunity to vote to determine their decision and how they feel about the 1 cent sales tax. Yes, I've had lots of conversations with residents, particularly along Nations Ford, about potential displacement, with all the various kind of conversations. When we think of the Silver Line, I think that it's important for us to think about land trust models, land banking. We know where the line is going to go. So I think that we can be thoughtful of starting to purchase land in that area. As I've told people, I am a fan of permanent affordable housing. I like to read the fine print, and often the fine print in a lot of these affordable complexes will say that it needs to be affordable for 50 years, 99 years, et cetera, et cetera. That's not permanent. That's just a couple generations. So I think that's the first thing, making sure we're being thoughtful of what we're signing and what we're agreeing to.
My experience in government, city council government, is that nothing is permanent. As we know, things revolve. There are things that they made decisions 60 years ago, but we've changed those things. I have my greatest concern I was chairman of transportation, as I stated to you earlier, vice chair, and I oversee the first 9 2-point miles of the light rail that started at 485 that ended uptown. Is that in this package, there are a lot of other things that I don't feel right now is in our best interest. And I think 2 mistakes the city made. They should have been more transparent. I think they should have came to the community a lot sooner. But their focus was, of course, we have to go through Raleigh. And whether or not they would help them to approve for us to put on a 1 cent permanent tax. And it has left a lot of things in that package that I just feel that we kind of rushing it. But I'm also one that believe that there's times like this when you put it before the people. But the people need to be properly informed. And I still don't believe that you are being informed.
Okay, this question is more for Councilwoman Brown. You heard Joy, take on the violence interrupters program. Can you elaborate more about the 5 hot hit zones that the previous chief, which would be Putney, had advocated for versus the conversation or the sound bites that she's given us inaccurate information?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the question. So Chief Putney, along with nonprofit organizations, came together for 5 hot zones. Phase 4 Road being one on West Boulevard, Nation Ford Road, Central Avenue, and Eastway. We're still working in those areas today. I do want to give credit to our Assistant Vice Chair, LaWanda Mayfield, and being on the Housing and Safety Committee because we fought to bring ATP funding that was going to go away. That funding is very important, so thank you. Chief Putney did start it, but we are fighting to keep it here because we need that. Because I always say that when people that are closest to the problem, they're going to have the solutions. It's been proven in data, it's been proven in records, and it's been proven in our funding that we kept to allocate along with our other council members agreeing to keep that funding there. So I'm very happy that I sit on that committee. So thank you so much for that question. And those are our facts that you can go back and check.
Thank you.
We have a few seconds left.
I cut you off because you ended it.
Okay, no problem. So I just wanted to say that, you know, everything that I've done, I need people to know this is on my website. Every single thing that I've done, my website is current. It would be all night if I told you all the accomplishments that I had being on city council.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, thanks for mentioning math. Ms. Mayo, I'm an accountant, so I know the difference between a liability and an asset. So my question is, you mentioned you don't have to be invited to a meeting. So I think I speak for all of my neighbors because a lot of them don't know about Channel 16. So this is for the two of you. And I'm glad that you mentioned how so that we all can know what's going on, what meetings to get to. What will you do to make sure, that the residents of Charlotte, District 3 in particular, that we know when meetings are being held and things like that? Not everyone is computer literate. What will you do? Flyers or anything like that? Because most of my neighbors have never heard of you, Ms. Mayo.
Okay, fine.
So we just want to know how do you let us know what's going on so that we can show up at these meetings?
Thank you so much. So Transforming Nations Forward actually just received a boost grant from the city of Charlotte, $500. And we'll be sending an email.
I just have a microphone.
Yes, sir.
We have a parking problem.
Oh, excuse me for interrupting, I apologize. We've just got a gray Murano vehicle out in the parking lot over on this side blocking a car. It's parked like in the roadway in the parking lot, but blocking a car. Anyone who could move their car, we'd appreciate it. And I apologize again. It is a 2-door.
Any takers?
It might be the staff. It might be upstairs with the, the apartment, people upstairs.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we received a boost grant to help with marketing to make sure that, we have the funds and the availability to make sure that more residents know about the work that we're doing. So actually, I'll be sending an email later today from Transforming Nations Forward's newsletter. We're encouraging neighborhood leaders. We had yard signs created, front and back, one side in English, one side in Spanish, because we do know that the Nations Forward area does have a large Latinx population. Our next meeting is next Tuesday at 6:45 at Gracious Living, and that is actually on the yard signs. So I think working closely with neighborhood leaders like yourself, Tracy, we'd love for you to help us spread the word about the work that we are doing in Transforming Nations Forward and encouraging your neighbors to come. So I think that as an elected official, it's important to collaborate with other people. I can't be everywhere all the time, and it's important to have people that you're able to work with to help with that boots on the ground. So I hope that you will encourage your neighbors to join us next Tuesday at 6:45 at Gracious Living on Nations Ford Road.
Ma'am, I just want to make sure I understand your question. Was your question in general, as an elected official, how would we help get the information out that's going on in the neighborhood other than Channel 16? Is that what?
Yes, a lot of people don't even know about Channel 16. I watch it all the time.
Okay.
I don't miss a meeting.
Again, I'm not down there anymore, so I don't know exactly what they're doing in all those aspects, but I think we can get a little creative. We send you a water bill that belongs to the city of Charlotte. So, you know, we can put a flyer in those things. You know, I'm one of those persons that believe that we have left out a certain segment of our community by believing that everything has to be digitalized and people are computer literate. So, you know, at the end of the day, I believe that that's something we do anyway. That bill is going out to put another little flyer in there with a calendar of what's going to happen in the next coming months. Shouldn't be any big problem.
Tracy, I'd like to answer that question as well. So as a city council member, we have subject matter experts that make sure that all of our information gets out. They work hard to make sure that people understand where our meetings are gonna be at. When you send an email like you did, I'll meet with you. I also would like to say, being endorsed by Montravias King was unexpectedly. He's a highly qualified candidate and is very good with policy, but he knocked on doors and people told him that they were still standing with me. It's hard to get people to leave a person when they know a person's heart in their fight. When they know that they're gonna fight with you, they know they're gonna fight with you when the chips are up and when the chips are down. And so community meetings is what I do. I collaborate with everybody. I would love for people to come into the government center because we're in unprecedented times and I don't know what people's motives is. So that building is secure, but I will come out to you, okay? Thank you so much for that question.
Thanks for inviting me. You're the first one.
I know that.
We'll go back and forth. Yeah. I think everyone answered that question. We have one more question and then we're going to allow our guests here to give their closing statements. Yes.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Patrick Shakeup. As we all know, nowadays, the news out there is on the immigrants. You're hearing me? Okay. The news out there today is on the immigrants. Immigrants. And I'm one of them. And as we are talking about the criminals, as immigrants, and beside those criminals, they are good residents too. And yes, I'm just elaborating before I ask the question, if it's okay.
No.
Okay. So, before you become citizen to vote, there are 3 steps to take to get to that place. And we have to be resident before becoming citizens and vote. How will you address nowadays the immigrant situation as a resident in Charlotte area? If you will be able to reach out to them, what will be your program?
I think that there are great organizations, nonprofits that we can collaborate with. Oftentimes with all the change that we're seeing at the federal government, people are a bit weary of working with government entities, but I think there are a lot of nonprofit organizations that are trusted, that are in the area that we can continue to work with. So I think leaning into existing nonprofits that are doing the work, also houses of faith, they have great spaces, they're all throughout the community. I think there are great opportunities to bring those 2 groups together to make sure that members of the immigrant population are receiving the support that they need, particularly if they're going through the citizenship process.
So thank you so much for your question. To me, you are a citizen. You come in the city, you deserve to live in every zip code in every area. Definitely working with nonprofit organizations and also working with your council member in the area to share with you the resources that are available for you to be able to connect. There are a lot of nonprofit organizations doing great work, but you are the best representative of yourself. So when you find out where you live and who your district rep is, hold them and us accountable. We don't do that often enough. We go to the polls, we vote, and then we let them go and let them do whatever they want. There should not be any city council member unopposed, not single one, because we're not doing that great of work. So again, find out who your city council person is, get with them, connect with them, and then the resources that we have allocated for you should be at your fingertips. So thank you for that question.
It is my personal belief that no community should be excluded. You live here in Charlotte, we should treat you as a citizen, as a resident. You should have all rights and privileges that this law allows anyone to have if those laws apply to you. As far as services that the city of Charlotte provide as a resident, it shouldn't matter where you're from. We're gonna treat you the same because it applies to everyone. So if you have a concern or complaint, we should have a system set up, whether you speak another language, and I'm sure we do, that will allow to be able to communicate with those individuals when they call in or need services from the city of Charlotte.
Okay, thank you all. And if you will, just leave us with your last statements before we start taking announcements.
Yes. I open, so can I close?
How much time is it?
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Okay. So good morning again. My name is Joy Mayo. I'm running to represent District 3 for Charlotte City Council. So excited to continue to do the work in the area. As mentioned, a former CMS teacher, so I moved to Charlotte to teach middle school math and social studies. Then purchased a home through HUD's Good Neighbor Next Door in Nations Ford area, and quickly realized that the area was not receiving the investment that it needed. And that really bothered me, particularly as I lived and worked in the area, and I was teaching the students. So I taught students, right down the street, and knew that the investment was needed. So I am excited to bring additional opportunities and investment to residents all throughout District 3, bringing the same enthusiasm, energy, and commitment, consistency, leadership is what I will bring as a District 3 representative. So I hope that I will have your vote. If you live in District 3, August 21st, or tell your friends, and check out my website, joyforcharlotte.com. Thank you.
I heard Ms. Brown say she wants to go last, so we're gonna respect that. Ms. Brown, again, I wish everybody on this panel luck. I bring what is unique here is experience. That's what separates me from the and success. As I stated earlier, that what we face, if you haven't lived here for the last 40 years, you wouldn't know that. But District 3, the District 3 you know today, is beautiful. It's great, but it still has challenges, just like the rest of the city of Charlotte does. And those areas of crime, economic development, and transportation, I specialize in. And I know my way around City Hall, but more importantly, I know how to negotiate and collaborate with folks to get the job done. Thank you.
It is an absolute honor and pleasure to serve you as your current sitting City Council Representative, Tiawana Brown. When I leave City Council, there will never be another like me, bringing lived experience, bringing the voice of the people. I have lived in District 3 for 54 years, from one side to the other. I have walked and lived what it is to be the change, the voice. I earned the title, the People's Champ, for meeting people where they at. Not one type of people, but all people, and bringing your voice to Charlotte City Council, District 3. You voted for me, keep me there. I am the difference. Tiawana Brown, Charlotte City Council, District 3. Go to my website, tiawanabrown.com. There is no other. When you lose me, you lose. A vote for me is a vote for you. Thank you. Okay, let's give all three of these.
For coming today, and we are ready for announcements, and this young lady right here has a special announcement.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I suppose I should be in front of my home gym here, so. Okay, yeah. This is a radical change of subject here.
Okay.
So I apologize. I mean, all this politics is very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It sure is.
Can you hear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My name is Rosie O'Rear. I have heard of your group's wonderful work, past and present, and I'm honored to be with you this morning. Congressman John Lewis reminded us to, quote, make good trouble. This is what we are attempting to do every Thursday morning at a protest gathering on Beatty's Ford Road out in front of the Allegra Westbrooks Library. We invite you to come and join us. We call our group Guardrails. At the library intersection, we exercise our rights by waving handmade signs urging motorists to support democracy. We exercise free speech, urging our government to remain fair and just and protect our right to vote. We are heartened by the warm reception we are getting. Drivers are enthusiastically honking their support for our efforts. So please come and join us. Make your own sign or use one of ours. We believe good trouble is better when there are more of us making it. Weather permitting, our protests are on Thursday from 8 to 9 a.m. Our Guardrails group is affiliated with Indivisible, a national protest group. Parking is available at the library. Do you have any questions?
Thank you so much. That's my type of work.
Thank you. And I do see you every Thursday, and I honk my horn at you every Thursday.
What time do you come with that?
8 to 9.
8 to 9 a.m. on Thursday.
At the Allegra Westbrook Library. They are there every Thursday. I honk my horn as I go by there. Okay, any further announcements?
On behalf of the Ferguson family, I just want to thank all of you who came out to the closing arguments at the Club Now last week. It was phenomenal. Over 200 people came out, and many of them made their closing arguments on the goodness of James E. Ferguson II. So all of you who came and those who may not have but supported us with your thoughts and prayers, we do appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Okay, and just raise your hand if you have an announcement.
We got a first timer right here. We just got put on the spot.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Madison Holmes. I'm a 2L, currently at Elon Law School in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, live in Harrisburg currently right now. So thank you for having me here. It's been a very warm welcome, and I'm glad to network with some people here.
Okay, any other announcements? Okay.
I'd like to announce that Enderley Park is having its National Night Out tonight, and starts at 6. It will be at the Betty Ray Center. Also, be reminded that early voting does start on August 21st, but for 1 week only, it will be at the Hal Marshall Center. The other 8 or 9 sites will not be open until the 2nd week. So you can only vote the first week at Hal Marshall.
I would like to add to that, there will be no Sunday voting this year. There'll be no sold to the polls. This is a decision that was made by our constituents up in Raleigh. You know, so no, and only one Saturday to vote, and no Sundays. Voter suppression, yes. At its highest.
So a lot of you know my name is Charlene Henderson, and I am running for City Council District 1. I love the perspectives. Each and every one of you have had some great perspectives. I champion you, Tiawana Brown. You know I ride with you. Joy, I respect you. Warren, good luck. So this is the first time that I have heard or saw that each district rep has been here in this room today. I mean, like District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4. I just want to make sure that a personal, passionate plea go out. Will this be business as usual? Will this be policy driven? Or will you be able to have compassion and empathy when it comes down to the people that have issues going on in their in every one of their communities. Because I've seen where it just goes on as policy as usual. I want to make sure that a passionate plea go out to each and every one of you. No business as usual. Let's begin to look at the heartfelt issues that these people are having, and let's make some real decisions that's going to govern them. So I want to make sure that is being said.
Good morning. Again, my name is Mary Jane Watkins, a fourth year pre-law student at UNC Chapel Hill. And I just wanted to quickly extend my gratitude to everybody here for welcoming me this summer. I'm gonna get a little bit emotional, but it's truly been a great experience to be here with y'all this summer. Thank you. And I look forward to tuning in online from Chapel Hill in the following week.
Bring all those litigation skills back when you graduate. Because you see it gets spicy in here.
Okay, any other announcements? Oh, Colette.
I wanted to reiterate what Ms. Johnson has said. For municipal voting, it starts on Thursday, August the 21st. And family, that saying that says if you don't use it, you lose it. As Ms. Johnson said, our Sunday souls to the polls have never been that robust. We have no Sunday voting at all. We only have one Saturday voting, and they've even eliminated 2 Monday voting. So we only have 13 days to vote. We only have nine early voting sites. You all, we have to start voting because they are taking away, not just suppressing, but they are taking away our days and ways to vote. Thank you.
All right, go ahead and close it out.
Okay, I'll close it out. So thank you so much for that. So in addition to that, thank you for that, Ms. Forrest. Hey, I have an announcement, very important announcement. Thank you so much for that.
We are still taking announcements. We're still taking announcements. So let's not talk. Thank you.
So thank you so much for that, Ms. Johnson and Ms. Forrest. So yes, in addition to that, I want people to know that if you are justice impacted, that means if you've ever been incarcerated, if you're listening on the live, you can't vote as long as you're not on probation. We need your vote. And also, the people that are running for office, please check our voting records. Mine is impeccable since 1992. Thank you.
Okay, Winston, close us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending another Sarah Stevenson Tuesday Morning Forum sponsored by Newport. This is the energy of District 4 is next week. Y'all come back. If you buy your tickets right now, they're absolutely free. So please join us as we have candidates for District 4. Dr. Thomas, play us out.
I know.